Well, as you will have seen, my lettuce in the greenhouse have done nothing. These were planted on my windowsill at home, and they've been in the soil for 4 days, and here we go. Lots of little lettuces popping up. They're the same variety out of the same packet of seeds. And the other thing that I was going to talk about was my lobelia. These are just some of them. I've brought these in from the little poly greenhouse because they're going to go around my pond. As you can see, I've got 3, 6, 9, 12. Yes, I've got a dozen lobelia plants there that can go around the pond. We're not having any luck yet with the runner beans over here, but this one has come on quite well. Just a one out of about a dozen. This one's a Scarlet Emperor, so you never know, it might give me some beans. And there we go, that's things as they are at home at the moment. I'm just going to plant some cauliflower, some Brussels sprouts, and what's the other thing? Another brassica, and I can't think what it is now. Cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, and something else. Oh well, I'll put it up on here after. Well, hello there. I came down to the allotment this morning, and well, this afternoon, and everything is arid. There's been no rain here for a good few days, apart from a sprinkle overnight last week, and the ground is bone dry, and I've had to go around watering everything. And in the greenhouse, well, things are just roasting. Let's have a look. That's the state of my radishes. As you can see, they're all wilted. I've given them a good soaking now, but I mean, that was literally 1 day ago. The carrots, well, these ones, these are the Nantes. They've only just started poking through. These are my English radishes. These have fared well, they haven't really wilted. The Chantenay carrots, well, there's a little bit more life on these, a few more sprouts coming through there. And my cosmos and sweet peas are doing fairly well. I gave them all a good soaking this morning. In here, my cosmos and Rebecca looking very dry, so I'm going to give that a good soaking before I go. And the same would apply for my white Lisbon spring onions. They're a bit wilty, but I've given them a watering already, but I'll give them another before I go home. I won't be staying long today because it's blowing a gale force wind out there, and every time I try and do something, the wind takes it away from me. I've had a go at the pond, tidying it up. Look, even my purple podded peas have suffered with dryness. They started wilting, but I've given them a good soaking already. The corn loves it. There's no problem there. Although something definitely nipping out my corn at the tops. Look, there's one. There's a couple more where they've been eaten out from the top. And I did check, there's no snails in or around this pot. When I lift them up, there's nothing underneath them, and nothing underneath the pots themselves. So I'm not sure where they're coming from. A couple of tomato plants my neighbour gave me the other day. They're coming along fine. I'm putting them in grow bags this weekend. Oh, that one's dropped over. Just shows how heavy it is. And these are the tomato plants that Ben gave me by Tony. I'm still waiting, Ben, if you could let me know what variety they are, mate. They're going in the grow bag as soon as I clear this shelf behind me. I've still got one watermelon and one pretend watermelon. None of the yellow melons have come through. One did, and it disappeared. The same applies for all my brassicas over here. Brussels sprouts, everything, all gone. I popped some new seeds in with these last week, so wait and see if they germinate. Same with the nasturtiums and the sweet corn. Well, the sweet corn on the outer two are doing really well, but there's 6 empty cells there. And in here, Well, I've still got some good survivors of my beetroot, but over there there's nothing alive, so I'm going to tip that out and start again. That's my swede and my broccoli there. Nothing. I've started some at home. Also, I started some lettuce at home and they've actually come up. Right, this is Gadisha. It looks like it's gone very dry again. Yes, it has. And that's after I gave it a watering this morning, or when I arrived today. Mesembrymenthum doing well. Seems to like the dry. That's the same thing, just at a lesser stage of development. And this one is more Gadisha, which seems to be coming along. I said last week there was nothing on the lobelia front. Well, look, we've got lobelia coming through there. I brought some of my lobelia from home and I planted it at the side of the pond, and you'll see that in a minute when I go out there. Now, I'm not going to do any narration while I'm at the pond. In fact, I'm going to mute it because it's blowing a gale out there and I know it's just going to be wind noise on the camera. My dwarf beans doing well, Blue Lake, but still nothing on the Scarlet Emperors. Totally blank. And that's about it for today in here. So, apart from looking down there, more tomatoes from our friend Di next door. Yeah, so the greenhouse at the moment is about 35 degrees. I've had to open the door, and I think I'll open this little skylight as well. So we'll get that up and running. Let's push it. Oh, that's good. I can feel a breeze coming in straight away. So let some air in and cool this down a bit. It's way too hot in here. And I noticed next door my neighbour's got a heater in his. Maybe he's expecting a frost this afternoon. I don't know. There we go. I have to say though that his tomatoes are much further advanced than mine. He's got flowers on them. This is Mervin's plot. Got some cracking tomatoes in there. Brilliant stuff, eh? Right. Now I've still got the barrow in the way there. Oh, I meant to mention, look at the state of this. I mean, they're perking up now. They were absolutely flat, as was my mint. It was arid, bone dry. So I've had to give them a damn good soaking. There's about a gallon of water gone into each of these pots. And it still looks dry even now, in fact. No, it doesn't feel dry. That's good. Yeah, this one, no problem at all. I'll have fruit on there any day now. Peas got dried out, but I've given them a wetting around the peas themselves. I'm going to go around and do the whole bed. Right, into the bathtub. It's looking a bit different now. Alright, I've put a few bedding plants around. Here's my lobelia from home, and as you can see, it's considerably more advanced than the lobelia grown in the greenhouse here. There's another one there. So it's doing well there, and a few odds and sods bring a bit of colour to it. And Mick Watson, thank you very much for your kind offer. He's going to send me some bedding plants over, which I'll be sticking in as soon as they arrive. But this will give it a little bit of colour for now, and it will also help to bind the soil, because all those roots do what they should and hold it down. There we go. Oh, and there's a little fuchsia in the corner there. It's one of the survivors from last year, so I don't know how well it's going to do. It just started perking up. It was looking quite dead, and a little bit more lobelia there and there, and that'll spread obviously, so give me some colour. The other thing I did today is I topped up my spuds, because they were a good 3 or 4 inches above the soil level. Sorry, I'm tripping on Marley's lead here. Yes, I topped those up, and I've used compost, and I'm going to go over and put a shovel full of manure, which was kindly donated to me by Tony. Thank you, Tony O'Neill of UK Here We Grow. There we go. Good couple of barrow loads there, and I'll put some of that over my asparagus trench as well, or trench mountain. So spread the thing around. I got some wood chips down the other day, and I got some more in the barrow there, which I'm going to use to create a path along here, because I'm walking in mud half the time. Don't want that. But the pond's beginning to look okay, I think. I mean, you know, I'm open to suggestions, but to me it's beginning to take shape as a pond. I had a little fall yesterday, so I didn't bother getting the extra stones I was going to use, but I've still got to get some more flattish stones to put inside it to build up a kind of a refuge for anything that falls in. I did have a couple of branches that were broken off and thought I'd use them, but they kept catching on Marley's lead every time he walked around it, so I thought rather than take the risk with that, I'll do something from the inside. All this water here is where I've been going around with a can, watering in the compost that I put around between the rocks. I think filling the gaps between the rocks is going to help stabilise it, and it's also going to give somewhere for the shallow rooted plants to grow. Obviously I've still got my little summer bulbs and liliums to come up over this end, so they're around this corner here with the heather. I keep saying heather, it's lavender. They go from there around this corner here down to about here. So that's it. So when I get the calendula from Mick, that is also going around this side of the pond, and hopefully everything will start getting a bit of water soon. I wouldn't mind a little bit of overnight rain. You know, people complain when it rains, but I don't. The ground is absolutely parched. You can see the difference where I've spilt a bit of water there. It really is parched. And because we haven't had any rain, my water butts are nigh on empty. I did have to empty a couple when I was shifting them earlier in the season, so that Tony could take a couple of barrels up to his plot, but I haven't refilled them, so they're all, I've got 5-6 barrels at the moment, and there's no more than a foot of water in any of them, so I really need to get those topped up pronto. Obviously if I don't do that, we're going to have problems in the summer, especially if we have a little bit of a drought this year. So I've been walking up and down this hill with that bucket there. As you can see, it's full of water at the minute, and the watering can, because the nearest watering hole is about 20 feet above me and 20 feet to the left. And believe me, when I've done that trip up and down, laden both arms with water, it's hard graft. For an old cripple like me, it's not just hard graft, it's hard work. So I have to take a 10-minute break. There you go, that's what age and arthritis does to you. Right, I'm going to sign off now. Just tidy up a little bit here, spread some of that manure around, and then go home. Catch you on the next one. Bye for now. I've made a dent in that little bit of manure. Spread it out across my asparagus. Throw loads on the spuds over here, and I'm going to spread the rest of this out on this bed, which is my brassicas and my onions when I get around to doing it. I've also been spreading a little bit of wood chipping, basically making myself a path. It's very windy. It's hard to do anything because everything just flies about while I'm working, as you can see by that cardboard. I did try and lay it down and put the chippings on top of it, but it was a losing battle. These two people to hold it down while another one puts the chippings on, so it's obviously a waste of time. Still, I'm still pleased with what I did with that. As I said, strong winds today. There we go, it's looking good anyway. I've managed to get some rocks inside the pond. I've got one about this size with about 4 about that size. So I still need a couple more of these to finish it off. Well, I reckon this lot will root anyway. They're all pretty easy. Cut myself off there. I'm quite liking the way the pond's turned out now. I'm very pleased. It's looking lovely. Doesn't look at all like a bath now, does it? Just your standard bathtub. Marina Wilson, remind me to ask you where you got your solar fountain from. Right, that's it for now, folks. And I've done a little bit of wood chipping along here. A couple more barrow loads should give that some depth, so I've got something to walk on that isn't muddy. And we're going home. Bye. Oh, hang on. I forgot to mention about him, all he's done all day. Hey Marley. Oh, you've been sleeping all day. He had his jabs yesterday, so he's not feeling best. And the little so-and-so started eating that manure. I had to tell him off. Bad boy. Right, time to go home. Bye-bye now. This is how I would like to travel. Yeah. Open the back door and he jumps up and settles on his little towel on the back seat, plug his harness in and he's ready to go. Aren't you, Marley? You go home. Okay. Say goodbye. Well, you don't say anything really, do you?